Hi everyone, welcome to my live video. This is third time lucky tonight. I had a bit of a problem. Actually, I think it was my problem, not the software. But welcome to tonight's live video. My name is Morel. I am streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so it's very exciting. If you want to know how to do this, then please get in touch with me. So, just let me double check that everything's going to work properly, because as I say, this is third time lucky. So I'm just going to share a PowerPoint presentation with you, and I am going to just check on my phone before I go through the whole presentation like I did last time. Okay, so just bear with me. And there's a little bit of a lag in time, but you should, in a moment, you should see my full screen. This is what I had the problem with before. So if you're jumping on, yes, superb. If you're jumping on, please hit the like button, drop me a comment. I love it when people drop comments. It's great when we interact. I will come to the comments probably at the end of the presentation, so that obviously I want the presentation to flow. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. You will see it bottom right of this video. So please subscribe and you won't miss my upcoming videos. If you're watching on the replay, again, drop me a comment. I'd love to have your feedback. So tonight, I want to do a slightly different live video. I want to talk to you about money, which we don't normally talk about. Yeah, I want to talk to you about something I've been involved with, well, the company I've been involved with for over 2.5 years. But this new income stream, this new project has been around since December of last year. So I have been speaking this week with some of my friends online and offline, and where a lot of us are getting to that age, we are fastly approaching 50. And it's amazing how life just, Jesus, whizzes by, doesn't it? It absolutely whizzes by, especially when you've got children. And you actually think, holy cow, like my retirement date is actually, that not that far away. When you start working, you just think, retirement, God, that's just so far away. But before you know it, it's here. And it's actually a big concern for a lot of people. I'm sure many of you watching this will also be thinking about your retirement, your pension pot. I think a lot of us actually bury our heads in the sand because we're not in a position to actually do anything about it, because cost of living is so flipping expensive. I mean, I've noticed this. I've been to the UK. How many years is it now? My son is 9, so 8 years. And every single year, you just see it. You see it with your mortgage cost. You see it with your bills, taking the children out, buying clothes. Everything is increasing. And for most of us, I'm self-employed. Most of my friends are self-employed. We don't have pensions. Some of us have like small pensions from when we used to work, for corporate companies and so on. But there's very few people now who can say they've got a good pension plan, and this is quite a concern. And I think a lot in the UK, what they bank on is that their house is going to have enough equity in it, so they're going to hopefully downsize. When the children get older, or if they don't have children, they're going to sell their house. They're going to downsize and hope that they've got enough money. Now, the thing is, that's quite, I get it. It's a good plan to a certain extent, but of course it's not foolproof. You don't know how much equity you're going to get out of your property, and you just you just don't know, is that money going to be enough? We are, or we hope we're all living a lot longer. So actually, your retirement, this is the problem, your retirement fund needs to be pretty flipping big to cover you through your retirement. Um, so I think it's a big, I don't think, I know it's a big concern for a lot of people. So what I did was I went onto some number of different websites where there's actually like a pension calculator. So what I did was I pretended I was a bit younger. So I put in there that I'm 30. Okay, because I think often that's kind of the time you start thinking about it. And my retirement age would be 67. And I said I wanted 2K per month. So it came up a lot. They were pretty much the same as websites. Um, these are like proper websites, official websites. So it comes up telling me that my state pension is likely to be about £700. So I need to have 1,300 for my private pension. Look at that figure. These calculators gave me this figure between £800 and £900. I would have to be putting into my private pension to get that kind of pension at the age of 67, and that's starting at 30. So that's 37 years. I mean, these figures are just nuts, unless you are in a very, very, very well paid job, you're not going to be putting £900 away every month. So this is sort of how the conversation started with me and my friends. It's really, really a very, very big concern for many of us. So I'm just checking now that the presentation is moving forward. Hopefully you will see it in a moment. So how can we save for our future? Because there's going to come a point where if you're an employer, you're working for somebody else, your income is going to stop because you're no longer working. And it's good now. People want to retire earlier, which is what we should really be trying to do, because life is so short and we want to spend it with the people we love, doing things that we love, because none of us know how long we've got. So how do we save for our future? Well, generally speaking, we put our money in the banks. But of course, gone are the days where we make any money. We're pretty much getting zero interest. Our money is devaluing. It isn't working for us. There's no growth whatsoever. So if you're in a position to actually save and put your money in the bank, okay, that's one thing. But because it's devaluing and because the cost of living is increasing, how can we save enough money for the future? So a very simple example would be, if I want to buy my two children, let's say I want to spend £5,000 on each of them for their first car. Okay, I'm not going to buy a brand new car, but I don't want them driving around in a really old car. So a decent second-hand car for £5,000. So I want 10 grand to do this. Let's say I've got 10 grand in the bank now. Well, they're not going to need that money until another 10 years. That 10K today, I could go and buy two half decent cars, second-hand cars. In 10 years' time, that is not going to happen, because that £10,000, fast forward 10 years, is going to probably be worth about 6 or 7, because it's devaluing. So this is also a very big concern. How can you save enough to secure your future when we're putting it in the banks? Well, we can't. Some people will invest in property. A lot of the wealthy will do this. You may have another property. I know a lot of people have properties that they rent out. And, this is great, especially if you were able to get in early, you were able to get in, get the price, a good price, get the house at a good price. Of course, it's not headache free. We used to rent out our place in Turkey. There's a lot of hidden, unforeseen costs involved. But ultimately, you need a lot of capital. It's out of the reach for most people to go and buy a second property or to get a portfolio. Where I live, if you want to get like a 2-3 bedroom family house, you're looking at 300K. So it really is out of reach for the average person. What else can we do? Well, we can buy shares. Some people might buy shares. Again, is it really available for everyone? Because obviously you need the funds in the first place. You don't want to just be spending like £50. You want to be putting a half decent amount of money in. But there's a lack of knowledge here, isn't there? Like, how do you know where to buy the shares from? At what point do you buy them? At what price do you buy them? How do you manage them? When do you sell them? It's a minefield. Again, I don't think it's really, the information is not there. We're not taught about any of this, are we? Through our education system, we're not taught about this. A lot of this is kept from us. It's down to us to educate ourselves in this, which is not easy. Of course, the rich and the wealthy, they move in different social networks to us, and they're putting their money into investments, into assets, which are giving really high returns, 20, 30, 40% plus. Okay. You know, we get excited or we used to get excited if we made a bit of money on an ISA. The rich and the wealthy are not doing any of this because they have a completely different world open to them. They might use investment companies. Now, I know people who use investment companies. I think it's quite high risk. But again, it's lack of knowledge. How do you know which company? How can you trust that company? Obviously, there's a certain amount of risk there. You need to obviously do a risk analysis on that. How do you make money from this long term? Again, pretty difficult, I think, for the everyday person. What I want to share with you is something that is available to everybody, something that I'm involved in. It's available from €99, okay? And this is an opportunity where you can become a stakeholder, a shareholder in assets. So like the rich and wealthy do behind their closed doors, this is now available for us. So let me go through this in a bit more detail. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible because I know that for a lot of you, you won't have seen this or heard of this before. And I am going to do more videos on this in the upcoming weeks and months, going into more detail. But I'm going to try and keep it nice and simple here. Remember, if you're jumping on, let me know where you're watching in from. If you're on YouTube, hit my subscribe button so you don't miss my videos. If you're on Facebook, hit the notification button so you'll see when I next go live. Drop any comments you've got, any questions you've got, and I'll get back to you after the live video. So I want to talk to you about something called STORE, which stands for Sustainable Technology Resource Holdings. It's an equity token. Think of the word token as a digital share. It's very, very similar to traditional shares. Okay, so with traditional shares, they go out to the public. They're sold at a low price. You buy the shares that you can afford, and then at some point you would then liquidate and sell your shares. It's very, very similar to what we have here. Okay, so an equity token is it's a share, and the equity means that this is a share that is backed up by something real, by real assets. And as I mentioned before, you can buy a share in this asset company, which is a real company in the US. You'll see from this photo, a lot of my team members are on this photo. That is them from a month ago. The CEO of the company is there as well, and the CEO of this STORE token is also there. So this was taken in Texas. That is on one of the oil fields that I am a shareholder in, and you can also be a shareholder in. Okay, so when I use the word token, think of it as a share. The share is on, the transactions are on the blockchain, and the tokens, the shares that you own are in your own Ethereum wallet. So you have possession of them. And don't worry if you're not sure about wallets, Ethereum wallets. We give you all the training so that your shares are kept safe, okay? But the most important thing here is that you have a PPM, a private placement memorandum, which is a legally binding document between yourself and the company. Okay, so this gives you that security, that peace of mind. So by being a shareholder, by owning these shares, you have a stake in a portfolio of assets. These are real, tangible assets, and these are producing income today. So that oil field, excuse me, that oil field in Texas we've just purchased has been producing an income, producing oil since the 1930s. And with oil, because obviously this has been going on for decades, they can quite accurately work out how much oil is still to be extracted. And this oil field, we have 12% of this oil field. This is going to produce an income for the next 20 to 30 years. So you can actually get an income from that oil field for the next 3 decades. That's going to give you a passive residual income. Pass that on to your children, okay? And you can start at €99. I mean, it's a, just think about that for a moment. I know you might be watching this thinking, I don't fully understand. That's not a problem. I just want to share this with you to get you to open your mind a little bit and think about what we have here. I see this as personally, I see this as very low risk because these are assets that are already producing an income. This is nothing new. What's new is that this is now available to the everyday person through Utopian Global, this company of 11 years who I've been with for 2.5 years. So we currently have 3 oil fields, but we're going to also have some very, very green environmentally friendly projects. So water reclamation is on the horizon, land reclamation, mineral recovery, and what I'm really excited about is something called pyrolysis, which is plastic recycling. I'll come on to this in a bit more detail. That's just to give you an overview of the assets. So this is the last slide, so I won't keep you much longer. This is a little bit of a history of the equity token store. So in December 2018, we were able to purchase the store token at 0.25 euro cents. And this is available to Utopian Global members only. We have exclusive rights to the store token. Now you can become a member of Utopian Global for free. You set up a free account, and then you can purchase as many store tokens as you wish. So we started selling in December 2018, just like I said before, with traditional shares, you sell a certain amount so that funds can be raised. So we raised enough funds to buy 2 small assets, 2 small oil fields in the US, which are producing an income today. And this in turn, because the company has now purchased these 2 assets, it's increased the valuation of the company, which then meant a couple of months ago, the store token rose to 0.5 euro cents, which is what it's priced at today. Now, what we've managed to do is we've raised enough funds to buy that large oil field that I just showed you on the previous slide. This has increased again the value of the company because the company is backed by these assets, and the store token is going to rise to €1 in the middle of June. You've got about 10 days or so. So if you're interested in this, I would advise that you get in before the middle of June because you're going to get double the amount of shares for your money. Okay. I must state at this point, I am not a financial advisor. Okay. If you're interested, come and speak with me and I will give you the information, and you can obviously do your own research before you make an informed decision to get involved or not. Okay. So what we are now doing, we are now through continually selling the token. Our next goal is to raise €3 million because we are now going to purchase, once that's been raised, the next asset, which is recycling unrecyclable plastic into crude oil. So this is nothing new. There are other companies doing this. it's very, very lucrative. This is where we're going to increase the profits for our shareholders. And as I said to you, we're going to have a portfolio. So we've got oil fields, we're going to have plastic recycling. We've also got a mineral recovery project coming up, and also water reclamation as well. The company, we have, or their passion, is their mission is to put something back into, into the environment. This is very, very important. And all of this is actually stated in our white paper. So the white paper is a fantastic document to read, and you should definitely read it before you get involved. It explains the concept of the company. It explains what we've purchased so far and what we're purchasing and what our goals are going forward. Because as shareholders, we need to have this information, okay? So our goal is an initial target of €4. So we're very, very close to becoming €1 once the Texas project has been completely signed off. We plan to go public beginning, now that slide is wrong, it should say 2020, so I will change that. Beginning of next year, we will be going onto the public exchange, okay? This might be the stock exchange, it might be a cryptocurrency exchange, but it will then become public. And I have no doubt that we will get to €4 because as we purchase more assets, it increases the valuation of the company, which of course increases the value of the token. So if you buy a batch of tokens or batch of shares now at €0.5, you're timesing your investment, you're timesing your money by 8 when we get to €4. Okay, so that is a massive profit. And what you can do when we go public is you can then liquidate if you want to. You can sell some of your shares if you want to do that. Now, obviously, that's personal choice. I don't think I will be doing that because I suppose what might be a good idea is to sell a small percentage and keep the rest, because the whole point of this is that you want to build up your passive income. Now, as a shareholder, you're going to receive your profit share every quarter. So, excuse me, this is going to start at the end of this year. So what we're doing at the moment is the money that we're raising is all of it is being put back into buying as many assets as we can for this year. And towards the end of this year, all the shareholders will then start to receive their quarterly profits. So not only are your shares going to be going up because they're backed by real assets, you're also going to have this long-term residual income month after month for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Okay, so I am going to just move on to the very last slide. I don't want to go into it in too much more detail because I think it would be information overload. So I hope you found that of use. I hope I was able to explain it to you in a good way. If you are interested to know more, please get in touch with me. So just send me a private message. I promise you, you're under no obligation whatsoever. That is not my style at all. What I will do is give you all the information that I have. You can ask me any questions. I have a Facebook group where you can go in and look through all my video training, my documents I've put together. We do weekly hangouts. We've got a corporate YouTube channel where you can go and actually listen to our webinars with the CEO from the company. He's on there every single week. Basically, I can give you all the information you need to make an informative decision, and then you can decide whether or not to get involved. So just a reminder that I am not a financial advisor, okay? Must make that very clear. I do build my own home business through this company, which is another option for you as well. But if you want to just get involved with the shares, the equity tokens, then just, then get in touch with me, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop sharing. Okay, so I'm glad that the share screen worked. So thank you to anybody who may have come onto my previous live videos. Yeah, so any questions you've got, please get in touch with me. Whether you're on live on, if you're whether you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook, maybe you're jumping on later on and watching the replay. Again, just get in touch with me. Let me just bring up one last slide. Okay, so just get in touch with me for more details. I am going to end the live video now. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you very soon.